What if I told you that the key to restoring stronger, longer-lasting erections after 60 isn't found in a pill, but in 5 simple movements you can do from home? If you're a man over 60 and you've noticed changes, maybe your erections aren't as strong, maybe they don't last as long, or maybe they've simply stopped showing up when you need them, you are not alone. And more importantly, you're not broken. You're not past your prime. You're just not being told the whole story. For years, men have been chasing pills, pumps, and procedures, hoping to fix what they think is a simple loss of desire. But what if I told you the real issue often has nothing to do with desire at all? Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Bennett. I've spent over 30 years as a board-certified urologist working with thousands of men, from construction workers to CEOs to grandfathers who just want to feel like themselves again. And I can tell you this, when it comes to restoring your sexual vitality, the answer doesn't come in a bottle. It comes from within your own body. Here's the truth that rarely gets talked about. Your ability to get and maintain an erection relies not just on hormones or mood, but on a delicate and powerful system of muscles, blood flow, and nerve function. And just like any other system in your body, if you don't use it, you lose it. Think about it this way. If you stopped walking for a few months, your leg muscles would weaken. You wouldn't expect to sprint again without effort. So why would we expect our sexual function to stay strong without consistent support? The good news is, there are natural, science-backed ways to restore that system. No gimmicks, no side effects. Just 5 simple movements you can do at home, no gym required, that strengthen the exact systems responsible for firm, lasting erections. Today, I'll walk you through each of those movements, what they do, why they work, and how to do them safely at any age. But more than just exercises, what I hope to offer you is a new way to relate to your body. With respect, with patience, with the understanding that it's never too late to begin again. So if you've been quietly wondering if things can get better, stay with me. You might be surprised just how much power your body still holds when you know where to look. Welcome back. I'm Dr. Michael Bennett. And today, we're diving into a simple yet powerful exercise that can truly transform your life, especially if you're over 60 and looking for ways to enhance your sexual health naturally. Let's talk about Kegel lifts, a hidden gem in strengthening what's called your pelvic floor muscles. Now, you might wonder, what exactly are these muscles, and why should I care about them? Well, imagine you're trying to stop yourself midstream during urination. That muscle you feel tightening? That's your pelvic floor muscle, or scientifically known as the PC muscle. Strengthening this muscle can lead to remarkable improvements in your life, especially your sexual health. Why? Because your pelvic floor is directly linked to blood flow and nerve function in the pelvic region. A stronger pelvic floor means improved circulation and better nerve signals, leading to stronger erections, increased stamina, and enhanced intimacy. Now, here's how you do it. First, find a comfortable seated or lying down position. Next, gently tighten the PC muscle, as if you're stopping urine mid-flow. Hold this contraction steadily for about 5 seconds, then relax fully for another 5 seconds. Repeat this simple exercise 10 times, and aim for 3 sessions each day, morning, afternoon, and evening. Consistency truly is key here. In fact, many of my patients report noticing significant improvements within just 2 to 3 weeks. Imagine regaining control over your intimacy and confidence in such a short period, without medication or complicated devices. Here's an example. One of my patients, a gentleman in his late 60s named Tom, initially came to me feeling discouraged and hopeless about his declining sexual health. He diligently incorporated Kegel lifts into his daily routine, and within weeks he told me his relationships improved dramatically. Not only did his physical performance enhance, but his overall self-esteem and emotional well-being did too. So ask yourself, are you ready to reclaim that vital part of your life, boost your confidence, and restore intimacy naturally? Kegel lifts are one of the most straightforward and impactful exercises you can start today, right from the comfort of your home. Remember, it's never too late to take charge of your health and happiness. Give this exercise a chance. Commit to a few minutes each day, and watch the incredible transformation unfold. Your body knows how to heal. Sometimes, all it needs is a gentle nudge in the right direction. Let's start today. Let me ask you something simple, but powerful. When was the last time you went for a walk? Not just a slow stroll, but a steady, intentional walk that got your blood moving and your heart working just a little harder. If you're a man over 60 and you've noticed changes in your body, lower energy, slower response, or weaker erections, you're not alone. And the good news is, you don't always need a pill or a procedure to get things flowing again. Sometimes, what you really need is right at your feet. I'm Dr. Michael Bennett, and after more than 30 years of working with men just like you, I found that one of the most overlooked solutions to erectile health is also one of the simplest, a brisk 30-minute walk each day. Why does it work so well? Because erections aren't just about desire. They're about circulation, and walking is one of the most effective, natural ways to restore healthy blood flow throughout your entire body, including the pelvic region where it matters most. In fact, a study from Harvard found that men who walked briskly for 30 minutes a day reduced their risk of erectile dysfunction by up to 41%. No medications, no side effects, just moving your body the way it was meant to move. And here's my advice for when to walk. Start in the morning or shortly after a meal, when testosterone levels are naturally higher and your body is primed to respond. Walk at a pace that makes you breathe a bit harder, but still lets you hold a conversation. You don't need to race, just move with intention and consistency. One of my patients, Harold, age 72, started walking every morning after breakfast. Within just a few weeks, he told me, "Doc, I don't just feel better, I feel alive again." That's the quiet power of something so simple. It's not just about stronger erections, it's about reclaiming your energy, your mood, and your momentum as a man. So lace up your shoes, step outside, and remember, every step you take is a step back toward your strength. Let's keep going. Let's talk about something most men never think about when it comes to their erections: their hips and glutes. It might sound surprising, but these muscles are part of the structural foundation that supports your entire pelvic region. And when they're weak or inactive, your body struggles to deliver the circulation and control needed for firm, lasting erections. I've had patients who never gave their hips a second thought. They'd focus on supplements or hormones, but completely overlook the way their lower body functions. One man, George, 71, told me he thought his lower back pain and declining intimacy were two separate problems. But when we started working on strengthening his glutes and hamstrings, both issues started to improve. That's the power of treating the root, not just the symptoms. You see, strong glutes help stabilize your pelvis, they support proper alignment, and they allow blood to move more efficiently through the muscles and vessels surrounding your reproductive organs. When your hips are strong, you stand taller, move better, and stay more grounded during physical activity. And that includes intimate moments. One of the simplest and most effective ways to target these muscles is the hip bridge. It's a low-impact movement that can be done anywhere, and it delivers real results when practiced consistently. Here's how to do it. Lie on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor, hip-width apart. Keep your arms relaxed at your sides. Press through your heels and lift your hips slowly toward the ceiling. Your goal is to create a straight line from your shoulders to your knees. Hold the position for 5 to 10 seconds. Then gently lower your hips back down. Repeat this for 10 to 15 reps, aiming for 2 to 3 sets per session. With time, you'll begin to notice a difference, not just in your posture or back strength, but in how steady and controlled you feel overall. This movement connects your lower body, your core, and your confidence, and it all starts from the ground up. As we get older, many men assume that lower testosterone is just something we have to accept, like gray hair or slower mornings. But what if I told you there's a way to gently encourage your body to produce more of its own testosterone, without injections, gels, or medications? And that the secret isn't locked in a lab, it's sitting right behind you in your own living room. I'm talking about the humble chair squat. Simple as it sounds, this movement is one of the most powerful tools we have for building full body strength and supporting healthy hormone production, especially after 60. Here's why it works. Your body naturally produces testosterone in response to physical challenge, and some of the best ways to trigger that response are through exercises that engage large muscle groups, your quadriceps, hamstrings, and glutes. These muscles don't just power your movements, they also help regulate metabolism, balance, and energy levels. Chair squats are a safe, accessible way to activate all of these areas at once. They require no equipment, and they can be done by nearly anyone, regardless of fitness level. And the impact goes beyond physical strength. Many men also report improved mood, motivation, and a noticeable shift in how they carry themselves after just a few weeks of practice. To perform a chair squat, stand with your feet shoulder-width apart, just in front of a sturdy chair. Keep your chest lifted and your back straight. Slowly lower your hips toward the seat, as if you're about to sit, but don't fully rest. Just tap the chair lightly, then press through your heels to return to standing. Avoid using your hands for support. The goal is to rely on your legs and core for stability. Aim for 2 to 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions. What you're building here isn't just muscle, it's momentum. The more consistently you move, the more your body responds. And that response includes not only better circulation and physical endurance, but also a natural rise in testosterone that supports your drive, your focus, and your intimacy. So don't overlook this one. With every controlled squat, you're reminding your body that strength is still part of your story. When we think about improving sexual performance, most men focus on muscles, hormones, or circulation. But there's another system, quiet, often overlooked, that plays just as critical a role. And that's your nervous system. Specifically, the delicate connection between your brain, your spine, and your pelvic region. As we age, this connection can weaken. Years of sitting, poor posture, or even stress can compress nerves in the lower back and pelvic area, making it harder for signals to travel from your brain to your sexual organs. And without clear, responsive nerve signals, everything slows down: arousal, sensation, and climax. That's why this next movement matters. It's called the pelvic tilt, a gentle, low-impact exercise that helps restore communication between your brain and your body. It reawakens sensitivity, improves physical control, and reduces the tension that often builds silently in your lower back and hips. To perform it, lie on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor, about hip-width apart. Let your arms rest at your sides. Now, take a breath. As you exhale, gently tilt your pelvis upward, just enough so your lower back presses lightly into the floor. Don't lift your hips, and don't force the movement. This isn't about strength. It's about precision and awareness. Hold the tilt for 5 seconds, then slowly release. Repeat this movement for 10 to 15 repetitions, once or twice a day. As you do this, imagine reconnecting the wiring that controls how your body responds. You may not feel a dramatic shift right away, but over time, the feedback improves. You'll begin to notice more sensation, better control, and a deeper awareness of your own body. Pelvic tilts also reduce muscle tension, support spinal health, and improve alignment. For many men, this movement becomes a daily reset, a chance to slow down, tune in, and remind their nervous system how to respond naturally and confidently. It may seem simple, even subtle, but in my experience, the pelvic tilt is often the missing link. Because better connection doesn't start with force. It starts with attention. And sometimes, all your body needs is a gentle nudge in the right direction. When you're working on rebuilding your strength and restoring your confidence, one of the most important things you can do is track your progress. It's not just about doing the exercises, it's about noticing what's changing. Because when you can see even small improvements, it gives you the motivation to keep going. And the good news is, you don't need any fancy equipment or medical devices to know whether these movements are working. All you need is a few quiet moments in the morning and a willingness to listen to your body. The first test I recommend is what I call the morning firmness test. It's simple, private, and incredibly accurate. Here's how it works. After 2 or 3 weeks of doing the exercises we've covered, start paying close attention to your erections when you first wake up. This is when your testosterone levels are naturally at their highest, and it's the best time to notice improvements. If you're waking up with stronger, more frequent, or more reliable erections, even if it's just a slight change, that's a powerful sign that your body is responding. Your muscles are getting stronger, blood is flowing more freely, and your nerves are waking up again. But if you want something more visual, there's another easy method that many men find helpful. It's called the toilet paper roll test. Take a standard empty cardboard toilet paper roll and gently slide it over your erection in the morning. If you can hold it out straight without it drooping, that tells you a lot about the firmness of your erection. It might sound unusual, But this simple little test is actually a great way to check your progress, and no one has to know you're doing it but you. If the results aren't where you want them to be yet, don't feel discouraged. This is a journey, not a race. Every man progresses at his own pace. What matters most is that you're consistent and committed. Keep showing up for yourself each day and trust that your body is rebuilding. Even the smallest sign of improvement is worth celebrating, because it means something is waking up inside you. And that's how real, lasting change begins. Quietly, gradually, and from within. Keep going. Your progress is already underway. Now that you've learned the 5 essential movements and how they support better erections, the next step is simple, but powerful. It's creating a routine that fits your life. Because without structure, even the best knowledge can fade away. But when you have a plan, a gentle, realistic rhythm, it becomes something you can actually stick to, day after day, week after week, and that's where real progress begins. So here's a routine I've developed specifically for men over 60. It's designed to be safe, doable, and easy to integrate into your daily life, even if you've never followed an exercise plan before. Let's start with the most important habit, your Kegel lifts. These should be done 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and evening. They take just a few minutes each time, and they help keep your pelvic floor active throughout the day, not just once and forgotten. Next, aim to take a brisk walk 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Walk for about 20 to 30 minutes at a pace that makes you breathe a little harder, but still allows you to hold a conversation. Walking in the morning or after meals works especially well because your testosterone levels are naturally higher during those times, and your digestion gets a boost too. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, add your hip bridges and pelvic tilts. These target your glutes, lower back, and nerve pathways, giving strength and flexibility to the entire pelvic region. On Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, focus on chair squats. Do 2 to 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions. This builds muscle strength, improves balance, and supports natural testosterone production. And Sundays? That's your rest day. But don't think of rest as doing nothing. It's a critical part of your healing and rebuilding process. Rest allows your muscles to recover, your nervous system to recharge, and your motivation to stay steady. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent, like brushing your teeth. It's not about intensity, it's about repetition. 1 walk, 1 Kegel set, 1 chair squat at a time. These small efforts create momentum. And when you follow this routine with patience and curiosity, you might just surprise yourself with how much strength, control, and energy your body still holds. At this point in your journey, you've done something most men never even consider. You didn't just look for a quick fix. You chose to understand your body. You chose to reconnect with yourself, not just as a man, but as a whole person. And that decision carries more power than any pill or device ever could. Because what we're really talking about here isn't just function. It's not just about improving erections or boosting testosterone. It's about reclaiming a part of yourself that may have been quiet for too long. The part that still wants to feel strong, connected, and fully alive. And that's not just possible. It's happening every day. I've worked with thousands of men from all walks of life. Retired veterans, grandfathers, former athletes. And I can tell you, age is not the barrier we think it is. One man I remember was 74 when he started this program. He hadn't felt confident in years, avoided intimacy, and believed his best days were behind him. But he gave it a try, 1 small movement at a time. At first, it was just 5 minutes a day, then 10, then a full week of consistent practice. And 3 months later, not only were his erections stronger, but he stood taller, smiled more, and reconnected with his partner in ways he hadn't thought possible. That's what this journey is about. And his story is not unique. There are thousands of men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s who are taking these same steps and getting real results. They're building strength, confidence, and emotional connection, not by doing something extreme, but by returning to what their body already knows. Movements, breath, focus. Care passo e fiatissimo. This isn't about chasing youth. It's about honoring your health, your experience, your desire to feel good in your own skin. And it's never too late for that. Whether you're just starting or already seeing progress, keep going. Your body still remembers how to thrive, and your story still has powerful chapters to come. So take a breath, stand tall, and keep walking forward. You're not done yet, not even close. You've come a long way. If you've made it through all the steps, taken in the science, listened to the stories, and maybe even practiced a few of the movements already, then you've already done something powerful. You've shifted from hoping things will get better to actually doing something about it. And that, my friend, is how real change begins. So let's take a moment and pull it all together. Thanks. You now understand the role of your pelvic floor muscles, those deep, hidden muscles that quietly hold the key to blood flow, firmness, and control. You've learned that Kegel lifts can reactivate them, giving you better performance and confidence in just a few weeks. You've seen how something as simple as a brisk walk each day can improve your circulation and lower your risk of dysfunction by more than 40%. That's not magic. That's your own body responding to movement. You've practiced hip bridges to stabilize your pelvis, reduce lower back pain, and support the structure that keeps everything in alignment. You've used chair squats to stimulate testosterone, rebuild muscle, and feel stronger not just physically, but mentally too. And through pelvic tilts, you started to restore the neurological connection between your brain, spine, and sexual organs, waking up nerve signals that may have been asleep for years. These 5 exercises, done consistently, are not just a routine, they're a roadmap, a system, a return to strength, to confidence, and to the version of yourself that may have been buried under stress, shame, or time. And maybe most important of all, you've seen how consistency beats intensity. This isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up, doing the reps, building the habit. Like brushing your teeth or making your bed. Small things, repeated over time, create massive change. So here's the truth I want you to carry with you today. Your body still remembers how to heal. It still knows how to be strong, responsive, and connected. It just needs you to remind it. One breath, one movement, one day at a time. Start today, not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Even if it's just 5 minutes, even if it's just one Kegel lift, or a short walk around the block. Begin. Because every step forward brings you closer to the man you were always meant to be. Not the one chasing the past, but the one embracing what's possible now. Let today be the day you begin again. With strength, with hope, with quiet determination. Your body remembers how to thrive. Now is the time to remind it. So if this message spoke to you, if something inside you stirred, even just a little, don't let the moment pass. Take that feeling and do something with it. Subscribe so you never miss another step in this journey. And if you're already feeling the shift, share this with a friend, a brother, or anyone who needs to hear that it's not too late. Because your transformation might be the spark that helps someone else begin theirs.